So previously, I talked about hardcore maxing. That's what I actually came to college. I don't know if you guys can hear me. There's some noise where I'm at, but hopefully you can hear me. Um, what I came to call that hardcore maxing. That's what I came to college. Well, I didn't exactly come to call it that. It's not like I came up with the term, but you guys know what it is. You know what I'm referring to. So essentially, it's a slow process because I have a few things I need to get together. I need to, some financial things basically. I gotta pay off some debt. I gotta file taxes. A few things I need to do first financially so that I can start getting into the other things I want to get into. It's like been slacking. So this year, and really past couple of years, I made some say mistakes that led to some kind of like bad financial situation, bad financial outcome where now I have to spend thousands of dollars, money that I could have saved for myself, that I now have to like spend. And I'm talking about like close to $10,000. So that's a lot of money. For me, it is a lot. Right. So I have to get a few things in order, fix, so that I can actually start getting things done. Literally, so the month of April will be the month where I try to get everything situated. I set up the payment plan, I do all those things so that I'm actually ready to get down to business. And I'm looking forward to it, man. It should be fun. It's like, like if I can get that done, then I can have May, June, July, August, September. That's 5 months where you can actually it's 5 months of hardcore maxing. That's what I was referring to. That's 5 months of straight up like a hardcore maxing for real. Right, and during those 5 months, I can get plenty of content. I can really actually get shit done that can then lead to real potential stuff in the future. Like literally anything you do these days can be monetized. Literally anything. And so if you have 5 intense months of actually doing cool things, going out, hardcore maxing publicly and privately, that can lead to some potential cool stuff that you can then monetize. And that's sort of the idea. That's what I'm sort of referring to when I say that. So it's always exciting potentially, right? Like the idea of it is always exciting. It is actually materializing it, making it happen in real life. That is not as simple, right? It's like thinking about it, planning, preparing. All that stuff is usually like just thinking about it. You're like, oh, I can't wait to actually do that, right? But you're just thinking about it. Making it happen in real life, that's a whole different ball game. So it's not the same, if you catch what I'm saying. Right. So that's it. But it's really just like a few things that I really need to do. And I should be able to get it done by, now that I think of it, okay, I do need to submit my response by next week. So yeah, let me put that on the calendar so I don't forget. But then essentially what I'm basically saying is set those things up, prepare myself mentally, but also come up with a plan. The thing is, if you actually want these things done, you gotta have a plan. And in the past, I've sort of tried to improvise on those things, and that doesn't always work. That's not always a good idea. Just improvising on, like, that's not always like sometimes you actually have to write things down and say, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, you have to take it seriously and say, okay, that's like the 5-point plan, a 5-point system. And then that's like step 1, step 2, step 3, and actually follow through with that. You know? Yeah. But yeah, man, it feels good outside right now. It feels good. It's 80 degrees, but you can tell that the summer is going to be quite hot because we're in April and it's already like 80 degrees. I am wearing a sweater, so that has to do with that, but I can already tell the summer is going to be burning. It's going to be scorching hot, which, if it is, I'm not going anywhere. No vacation. Yes, sir. But that is essentially the gist of what I was trying to say. It's the essence of that. It's I'm trying to think of, like, how do you monetize your actual life? It's like, when I say life, it's like if you think of what they call a live stream. It's interesting that they call it a live stream, because they really should call it a live stream, right? You're streaming your life, right? They call it live stream, meaning you're streaming live in real time. But it's not just that you're streaming in real time, it's that you're streaming every single thing that you're actually doing. It's like a 24-hour stream. So it's a live stream. It's not a live stream. The word live stream is a trick, you know, they're trying to trick you. No, it's a live stream. You're streaming your actual life. And so the question is, how do you monetize that? And if you have an audience that's actually watching you in real time, then that's the easiest way to monetize it. You don't need a product. The live stream itself is the product. But what if you didn't have that? What if you didn't have an audience that was watching you in real time? What if that was not a possible? What if you just didn't have that? That wasn't a reality. So you'd have to come up with a product. You'd have to, like, these are real questions, man. These are real fucking questions. Okay? How do you monetize it? So the thing is, you could say, well, you have to try a bunch of things. You have to experiment. And I want to experiment with a bunch of things, a bunch of different, like, strategies, ways to monetize things, to monetize ideas, content, businesses. The question is, how long does it take for each idea, and how do you know when to pivot? Okay, this thing's not working. Let me try something else. And that's a fundamental question. This thing is not working. Let me try something else. That's like a real question. So, because if you don't have the time, but you should still do it, because if you think about it, it's kind of like, well, you can just not do anything. Okay, I'm just not gonna do anything, but then, well, that's the worst idea, because time is still gonna go by, and if you don't do anything, then you don't get anything as a result, and you end up in the same place that you started. Time is still gonna go by. So you actually want to use that time wisely, meaning you want to do certain things, experiments. But then what if every experiment that you do fails? Like, what if none of it actually works? Right? So the question would be like, it was basically a waste of time. Basically wasted your time trying all those things and none of it worked. You know what I mean? And that's really the main concern is like, how do you make sure that at least one thing actually works? That is a key question. But I guess you could say there's different levels of success. Right? It doesn't have to be, right? It doesn't have to be this huge success. There's different, like if you think of the YouTube channel, mind maxing, which I started initially was a dating channel, dating dynamics that didn't work. Pivoted, changed it, tried some different types of content. Had 1 or 2 videos get over 10,000 views, and I wasn't able to replicate that because basically the amount of views you get depends on the algorithm, right? The click-through rate doesn't actually change. The click-through rate, the CTR, doesn't change, which tells you that if you got more impressions, you'd get more views. And so your success kind of hinges on the algorithm, whether the algorithm likes you or not. That is something that is determined by that. That determines how many views you get, essentially. So it's not fully within your control. But in my view, that was sort of a success. I came up with a ton of ideas, and that certainly helped out. So I would say that that's pretty good. Yeah. So in that sense, that was a success. But the real success that we're talking about here is financial success. That's essentially the real success that we're talking about here. So unless you're making money from it, then from my perspective, what I'm trying to say is it's not. I mean, I guess it is. You can learn from it and try to recreate it elsewhere. So like, okay, I'm gonna take the things I learned from this place and try to recreate it elsewhere. And that would be fine too. That would be fine. But ultimately, you gotta find a way to monetize it, and that's what I need to figure out. Is like, how do you? The thing with YouTube, the thing with the algorithm is that it's not quite. Say, okay, you hope you could just have an easy prospect. You just create a YouTube channel, you post some videos, you go viral, boom. You hope that it'll be that easy. But then it's not that easy. You have to actually create real products. The market is saturated. Everybody, like if you take the fitness industry, that is saturated. Like how many, there's like thousands of fitness channels. When you click on a fitness channel that actually gets views, let's say they get like 10,000 views a video, they take it seriously and they also have good content. When you click on the profile, they have some kind of link. They have some kind of link in the description. You click on that link, you go on the profile, and okay, what do they have? They have a product. What kind of product? Oh, they have a fitness product where they're gonna teach you how to lose weight and how to, but it's actually very generic content. I mean, it's not like they have some actual information that nobody else has. It's really about, do you like them as a content creator, and are you willing to support them? That's really what it is. But they're not gonna like teach you anything that you couldn't learn anywhere else. So you see that everybody is sort of stuck in this game where they're trying to sell something. They're trying to sell a fitness product. They're trying to find a way to monetize things, because you're just not gonna make that much money on YouTube. I mean, if you're getting 10,000 views a video, if you're making fitness content, there's only so many videos you can release every day. So let's say you do one video a day. For most fitness channels, it's probably going to be like maybe 2 or 3 videos a week. That's 30K views. That's like $100, $150 a week, $600 max. Now that's not bad in terms of like that's a supplement. If you do that year round, that's like $7,000. That's extra income. That's $7,000 of extra income. So I'm not saying like it's all bad, but obviously that's not something, that's just a supplement, and you need an actual job. So those guys would have to like have a 9 to 5 or some other business that they're doing, and then use that as a supplement. And so you see, like, you're kind of stuck in this world where you do not have the exit or the outlet that you thought you were gonna have. It just doesn't exist. Or if it does exist, it's incredibly hard to get. Is the point that I'm trying to make? It's incredibly hard to get. It's not at all easy, man. It's tough. And so, but the funny thing is that I've come to accept it. I've always accepted it because I know that it's hard to succeed. I've always known that success was hard. So that's the thing, is the difference between what you know and what you wish. Right? I wish it was easy. I wish it was, because I see other people and I'm like, how was he able to make it happen so quickly? So he got lucky. That's luck. Well, not everybody has that. So it's kind of like, okay, I know it's difficult. I wish it was not. I wish it were not. But it is. And so the question is, like, how do you adjust to that? How do you cope with that? That is the question. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. And therefore, you just have to keep trying. And then when you listen to people like Hormozy, which, to be quite honest, I don't really listen to Hormozy, but I've seen 1 or 2 videos where he talks about just doing more. Like you do more. You just work harder. And ultimately you realize that actually is the solution. The solution is not some unique idea that you're gonna find. The solution is to actually work harder. Working harder is the solution. Now you have to work smarter, but it starts with working harder, because there's no such thing as, you're gonna work smart and you're gonna come up with a smart idea that nobody else ever thought of, and it's not how it works. It's not, let me work smart and come up with something that no one ever came up with. No, it's working hard. It's repetition. It's just doing it over and over and over and over again. And you try different things, and then you just try a bunch of things. You don't take time. Taking time off is actually like the biggest mistake, the biggest issue. And when I say taking time off, I don't mean like taking a week vacation. That's not what I mean by taking time off. I mean just going a long time without doing any work. We all do that, right? I'm not talking, let me take a week off, go on a vacation. No. When I say taking time off, let's say you have a YouTube channel and you go 3 months without creating any content because you were just like, I'm tired, or I'm like, I'm not inspired right now. Okay, you don't want to do that. That's one of the biggest issues or mistakes. It's like, I'm just gonna take time off. or you just take time off because you're lazy. That is so the solution is to work really hard for a really long time, try different things, to pivot, to experiment for fun. It's going to cost you some time and also money, because you also have to pay for things. You have to pay for advertising, you have to pay for different platforms, different tools that you want to use, right? So that also might require some personal sacrifice, meaning if you're spending money on things like streaming platforms, spending money on I don't know, whatever platform you use, you may have to cancel some of those so that you can have that money to pay for the other tools. Or maybe not. I'm just saying you may have to work a few more hours at work to generate some extra money that you will then use for the other stuff that you're trying to do. So it's going to cost you time, it's going to cost you some money, and you just got to do it over and over and over and over and over again until you stumble on something that does actually work and that can actually be monetized independently. So essentially you become self-employed. Right. That is the ultimate. It's like a retirement. I really should go the other way. It's like a retirement plan. That's what it is, because it might not be something that will generate money for you in the short term, but that could potentially make real money. Let's say 10 years from now. If you said 10 years from now, okay, 10 years, that's a long time. You're just gonna keep trying a bunch of things until you start making some money 10 years from now. Okay, cool, I understand that. What I'm saying is, if you think of it as a retirement program or retirement plan, all of a sudden it's not so bad, right? Because then you'll have something that's generating a real annuity. It's like an annuity where it's like Social Security, right? Social Security, you're getting, let's say, $2,000 a month or something like that. Well, then that would be like that. It would be something that's generating a monthly income. It's generating a monthly income, except that it's your own. It's not some government program. It's something that you control, right? That's what I mean by that. So I start to think of those things that I'm working on as retirement programs, because they may not make me any money anytime soon, but if I do it for 10, 15 years, maybe then it might actually generate some real cash, which can then serve as retirement, but even early retirement, even in that sense. So that's good. And it doesn't even have to be that much. It doesn't have to be like a big sum, is what I'm saying. It can just be like a decent amount, right? It can be like a decent amount. It doesn't have to be $10,000 a month. the ultimate, the sum that people usually think of. It doesn't have to be that. It can be way less. It could be half of that. It doesn't matter. What matters is that it's a recurring revenue. It's month in and month out. You have this thing that you created. It's essentially automated, and you're getting 2, 3, 4, 5 grand a month, and you can get that sum for 10, 15, 20 years. And that is the real That's the way of panacea in a way. It's like if you think of what Tim Ferriss calls to automate your income, right? So now you have flexibility, and you have something that flows consistently for years, and that should be the mindset. That is the mindset. It's you gotta create your own form of UBI. Essentially, that's what it is. It's like your own form of UBI is what it is. It's not government. It's yours, and it's not impossible either. So, that's what I'm saying. That is the plan. That's the project. That's how you got to think about these things, man. You got to think about these things in a much more sophisticated way, a much more complex way. The pros and the cons, all the different facets. And you got to have a singular goal. Like, the goal I'm trying to solve right now is it's self-employment. You got to become self-employed, because relying on corporate income is just not sustainable anymore with AI, but with instability in general, where the economy can collapse at any given moment. But also, it's all the inconveniences that come with that. It's like having a schedule, showing up on time. You gotta show up at this time, at 8 a.m., and then you gotta stay there for 8 hours, and then you gotta and then even worse, you're not getting paid enough money. That's the main thing is just the income that you're getting is just not high enough. That's the main thing. Just you don't get paid enough money. And so you gotta become self-employed. You gotta make enough money for that to be possible. But then, after becoming self-employed, you have to automate the income. So automation is also key, so that you can be flexible and you can have, you can be location independent. But anyway, that's the idea. Be in touch.